Okay, so in the previous lesson, we were working on the inside of the mouth, and we're going to now wrap up this section over here and join everything together. So what we need to do is make the uvula over here. This is the thing that hangs in the back of your mouth over here. Okay, so now since we already saved this file in the previous lesson, you'll notice that when I go under File and open the previous lesson, it's going to open up in edit mode because that's how I selected it. So if you're in object mode, just switch back to edit mode over here. Okay, now make sure your snapping is enabled. You're back on increment over here. This is on edges, global, and this is on median point over here. And just do A to select everything and then A to deselect everything. Shift middle mouse button over here. And in the modifiers tab, we have this thing turned off so we can see the inside. So click on the face select mode, rotate with the middle mouse button over here. You're going to click on this face over here. Do Control 3. We're going to click on the green arrow one time over here to the left, then do W smooth 1 and then 2. Click this snapping off. I'm just going to zoom in, shift middle mouse button over here. I'm going to click on this blue arrow and bring it down. So just watch the header. It'll say global, and a little bit to the left of it, you'll see some numbers. So I'm just going to make sure that it says 30. So if I start moving this down, you'll see that it says 0.00. And I just wanted to make sure that it says around 30. Okay. So it says 31. That's fine. That's what I want. Okay. Now we're going to click on the snapping. And here we're going to extrude this. I'm going to do shift middle mouse button, just pan it over here. Press the E key to extrude and move my mouse down. 1, 2, then left click to confirm. I'm just going to rotate this so you can see what's going on. Again, we need to make this a little more smaller. We're going to do Control R and do the scroll wheel to edge 2 edge loops. Do left click and then right click. Then just do W smooth 1, 2, 3, 4. And now press the S key to scale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Left click to confirm. Switch to the face select mode. You can zoom in. Again, you're looking at the inside of this. It looks a bit confusing. Just going to go ahead and select it. If I press the Z key, you can see that this is what I've selected over here. We're going to do W and then just smooth this one time. Control 3. We're going to bring this up. We're going to press the Shift Alt and click on this edge over here. Click this guy off. Press the G key. I'm just going to move it up so you can look at the headers what I'm moving. Press the G key, and when I move it up, I'm just going to do the same thing. Move it to about 30. Left click to confirm. Press the Alt key down and click on this. Switch to the snapping on. Press the S key and just make it a little more smaller. 1, 2, 3. A to deselect everything over here. So you can see that what we have is the uvula over here. Now you can make this whatever size that you want. Okay. So what's important to understand about this whole idea over here, what we're doing to actually understand this, is what we need to do is switch to the bottom teeth first and just click off the eye icon over here. Switch back to the figure and go tab. So now we can see half of the teeth over here and the tongue. Okay, so what you're looking at is this thing over here. See this top of the teeth where this is? How there's a hole in here. Okay, so you have several options for this. First of all, when you actually make the character talk, all of this is really just going to be very dark over here anyways. Okay, and when you, let's say, paint the flesh tones for the inside of the mouth, it's going to be merged along with this over here. So one thing that we can do is actually smooth it out. So basically they're two separate objects, but the way we can simply make the face go at an angle so they're just together. So because when you texture paint these, you're not going to be able to tell that these are two separate objects. Okay. Right now it looks this way, it's because they're not texture painted. But when you do that, you'll see that you can actually merge those designs together. So anyways, what we're going to do first is we have to put this whole thing together. So what we want to do is click on the bottom teeth. So when you click it, it'll switch to object mode. Press the shift key down and then click on the figure. So you can see that this is darker orange and this is lighter orange. So now we can do Control J to join everything, Control J. You can see that everything has been joined. So if I do Tab, you see that it goes back into edit mode. Now we can do Alt H to bring everything back, and then A to deselect everything. Now if I zoom in, you can see that this is a really, it's getting pretty complicated over here to understand. Okay, so I'm going to do Control 3 just to do Shift middle mouse button, and I'm just going to show you what's going on. So you can see over here that these are your lips. This is the inside of your lip. These are going to be your gums, your teeth. Here's the bottom teeth, here are your gums, and this is the inside of the bottom lip. That's what's really going on over here. And you can really only see this stuff by turning this off, or you can hide stuff in edit mode to really get a better understanding of this. Okay, I'm just going to do A to deselect everything. So let's take a look at this area over here. This is what I'm talking about. See this area over here, this hole. So again, you don't even have to do anything over here, as I said. But just to show you, you can click on the edge select mode, click on this edge, shift key on this one and this one, and you can simply bring this up to Control 3. Okay, so notice that if I do the middle mouse button to rotate this, look over here, there are two faces, or basically two levels over here, right? And this is what we have selected over here. So I'm going to do Control 3. I'm going to press the E key to extrude. I'm going to get rid of snapping. Just going to bring it up to the same level, E, and just bring it up. I press the E key to extrude. Okay, I'm just going to bring it up like this. Okay, and then if you rotate, you'll see this is what it looks like. Now you can do Control R at an edge, left click and then right click. The reason we did that is because you can see that we have two faces over here. Okay, so here we're just going to click on this and click on the blue arrow to bring it up. Click on this one, click on the blue arrow to bring it up over here. What we're looking for is this guy. Okay, you just want to click on this. Click on this one, press the shift key on this one. Then over here in the tools, you can scroll down to merge, and you can do at first or at last. So if I do at last, you'll see that it's just going to merge it over here. So if I click this one first, shift key down, click this last, I can do merge at last over here. And you can see that this whole thing is now joined together. Okay, and again, you can move this a little bit to the left if you wanted to. Okay, so click on the face select mode, click on this, press Control 3. We can move this a little more down, so give us a much more nicer angle over here. A to deselect. So here we have the teeth as a separate object. Okay, but it's still part of the figure, right? So what this means is that if I do A to select, A to deselect everything, hover the mouse, over here press L, you can see that I can select the bottom gums. Over here I can select the lower gums. Then I can select any of these teeth by hovering the mouse if I wanted to. Okay. So now we've completed this. I'm going to want to go to the front view and go ahead and click this and do Tab. And now we have the entire figure over here. Do Shift C to put it over here. I believe I have the lamp on. Let me turn that off. So if I do Shift C, it'll just go over here. Okay, so now what we're going to do is go ahead and do a remove devils on this figure. Now again, what we want to do is simply do the remove devils is because we've joined a pretty complex object onto the figure, and we want to make sure that there aren't any vertices that are in the middle of the figure that has to do with the mirror modifier. So to understand this a little better, here we're going to first of all make sure that we've selected on the figure layer over here. Just zoom in with your scroll wheel, do Shift middle mouse button to go up over here and come close to where the lips are. Go ahead and switch to the edit mode, and over here you don't want the snapping enabled, so if you have it on, just go ahead and disable this. Go ahead and switch to the vertex select mode over here. Now I just want you to see something over here. Remember, the remove devil concept is really about removing two vertices that are too close together, and this is really or typically going to happen in the middle of the figure, meaning like let's say this vertices for some reason if you enable this a little later, and these vertices were really close together, but for some reason they were simply far apart enough that they're not going to merge together. Okay, this is why we do it. So if you do W and then remove doubles, that's what it's going to do. So in order to even use this function, you have to first of all select the entire figure, and you do W and then remove doubles. Now if I do this, I want you to notice that over here, in my case it's saying remove 5 vertices. But if you look closely, you can see that it messed up the ellipse. So I'm going to redo that again to show you what's actually happening over here. We're going to do Control Z to undo this. See that? If I do W and then remove doubles, that means it's messing up the ellipse over here. So the question is, why is it doing this, right? This is not what remove doubles is supposed to do. It's actually supposed to remove vertices that are very close together, meaning that they could be just one vertex, and merge them together. So to understand this, what we can do is deselect everything and look at the subdivision modifier over here. What we want to do is analyze the cage, because that's probably where the problem is going to be. So if we click on this, you can see that we can see what's going on over here. So if you look over here where we are defining this really nice soft edge for the lips, you can see that we have 2 vertices that are close together. And if we click this over here, you can see that Blender is looking at these 2 vertices, that these vertices are far apart enough that it's not going to apply the remove doubles. But over here, it actually did join them together, right? And you can see why it's doing that. If I click this, you can see that those vertices are basically on top of each other. So to fix this, all you have to do is really just right click this vertex in the cage select mode and then click this on. And then simply over here, just move one of these vertices a little further apart. So if I click on the blue arrow and just move it very slightly apart, and then over here, click on this, you can see that I've now moved it. Okay, so I can do the same thing over here, right? I can click this and maybe move this down a little bit. You can see that it's going to modify a little bit, and that's fine, because if you zoom out, you can see that it's really doing it at such a micro level that you're not going to notice it. You just want to be careful with this area, that's all. So if I do shift middle mouse button to pan up, I know that over here I had an issue. So if I click this off, I can see that, yep, I have this one. I can press the shift key down, click on all these 3, and actually just switch over here. See how I selected this, how it selects it? It doesn't select it correctly, but at least I know what to do. So I can press the shift key down, click on this, and deselect this one. And we can just simply take all of these just up a little bit. If I click on this, now I've separated them enough, right? Everything's separated nicely over here. We're going to do A to deselect everything. Now click on the cage. Now if I select everything, do a W and then remove doubles, you can see that it works just fine. And over here it says removed 0 vertices, meaning that over here didn't modify anything. But if it said remove like 1 or 2 vertices, so you just want to make sure that, okay, did it mess up my figure in any way? And if it didn't, that means that if it did in fact remove vertices, it will most likely be in the middle of the figure somewhere. Okay, so that means basically when you do remove doubles, you just want to be careful about it. In the back of your mind, you should know that, okay, I am using a cage, and I remembered that I was doing creating features on the figure that we were using this type of hard surface modeling technique, or we were pushing the vertices very close together to get these soft edges. So I should really check those areas of the figure. Okay, so everything is working over here. So I just wanted to show you that. You should be aware of this. Anyways, let's do tab, just do shift C to bring it in the middle. Press the shift key down, click on the lights, and over here I'm just gonna switch to rendered mode over here, and we can just scroll in with the mouse or press the control key down, do the middle mouse button to just get it exactly what we want. So now you've officially completed everything about the human figure over here. So here I'm just going to congratulate you again to coming this far in this course. So you should have a really high confidence level now about really modeling anything in Blender. So thank you for watching. Okay, and also you want to make sure that you do the final save on this file. So here I'm just going to do file and then save. Thank you.